Hello, everyone. My name is Maqsad. I'm finance officer at Khoro campus of University of Central Asia, and I will be here presenting you today's session regarding financial aid application online form. I will show you how to fill out the financial aid form online, and I will try to answer all your questions. Of course, after the session, so please do not hesitate. Feel free to send your questions in the Q&A part of the session here in Zoom, and we will come back to your questions and queries after the session is over. So I think, and I hope I'm audible. Everyone can hear me. Yes, so we've been waiting for 10 more minutes for more attendees to join this session. However, I don't want to waste any more time of those who are already in the session. So I think we should better start. So hello again, and thank you very much for attending this session. Thank you very much for applying to our university, to choose our university. We are really appreciating your interest, and we are very thankful for your interest. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you very much. So let's start. First of all, I'm going to share my screen. Let me start sharing my screen from the email that you probably have received. Hope my screen is now visible, and you can see the template of the email that will send to all the shortlisted candidates. Now, if you see this, I'm not going to read all the emails surely in order to save time, but there are a few things that I would like to indicate first of all, like when you have passed to stage 2, you surely receive one more email from our admission, the register office department, and then you received an email from the finance team. Here you can see we have shared the link with you, and also we have shared the Zoom details, and we have shared the let's say contact details of our colleagues who are there to help in location as well as for international or other students who are already applicants and who have applied to University of Central Asia. So you can see here we have the names of our colleagues. Here are the locations and here are the phone numbers. You can also chat, text, send message via WhatsApp. All these 5 numbers are active WhatsApp numbers. And one more thing, which is really important, I would like to emphasize is that finance team will be responsible to answer to the questions only related to the financial aid process and financial aid applications. So that's why we have put it in the note below all the details of that email. So please refer to that email as well. And here is also our you can send your questions related to SFA, student financial aid to sfaucentralasia.org. If you do have some other related question, let's say questions related to your tests or some other things like that, you have to send them to admission@ucentralasia.org. I will share these 2 emails one more time with you in the chat. So see, when you receive this email, and surely you had received a link to the stage 2, And when you open that stage 2, now let me share my browser. Assume you already clicked. Colleagues, can you please confirm that you can see my screen, browser screen? Okay, thank you. So when the applicant receive an email to stage 2, he clicks on it, and this page is visible now. So if you have a look at the page, what is there in detail? There are 2 boxes, quadratic boxes. One is second stage application form, another is financial aid form application. So for us, in order to enter to this financial aid application form, as an applicant, we have to first go through the second stage application form. Otherwise, the system will not allow us. Let me demonstrate it to you here. So see, I didn't go to second stage and I just clicked on financial aid and it is saying that you do not have financial aid form. Okay, so I'm not allowed. I'm clicking OK, it's pushing me back again. So I have to fill second stage application form. Now I click second stage application form, and first of all, I have to pay attention. There is a message which tells me to save my data every 15 minutes. You will be logged off if you remain inactive for more than 15 minutes. Surely it means that if you're suppose halfly filled your application, then due to some reason you just stopped to fill the data and came back to your application, let's say after 60 minutes, then you will be logged off and you will lose whatever you have typed there. So this part of the session, actually the stage 2 part of the today's session is I could say is very important only for one question, which I will show you here below. This is called, the question is, do you wish to apply for financial aid? That's why you were not allowed in the previous box to enter to the financial aid application form, because we have to answer there. And depend on our answer, that box will be available to be filled. So let's say here you have first name. This is a test application, so please do not think that this is something else. So you see that my first name is John, last name is Testing, and there's an email. It is already filled automatically, and you will have your application number here. Here you will have the email that you were shared with us before starting all the stages to apply to UCA. So this thing, the first question here is your academic achievement. I will not deeply enter into these details because this is mostly not related to financial aid, but demonstratively, I will just write down something, let's say activity number 1, because you guys know your activities better, what kind of academic achievements are there for you. So I will randomly choose some things like academic course or maybe English course. You guys have let's say an applicant who performed well, he was the winner. We will now go to, it asks us the boxes for filling like kind of brief description. So you will be briefly explain what kind of activities was that, and etc. And then tick add achievements in order to save that achievement. So now we will go down. You see, by the way, if you miss something, and sorry, before starting to fill this thing, I would like you to be sure that you are not using autofilling. Like usually browsers are offering these things. So please avoid using autofilling. Otherwise, you may feel some troubles filling this application. So again, I'm starting this activity. Let's call it activity 1. Other. Let it be my activity 2. And then I'm again. So let's go to the next question, extracurricular activities. You will also like type something, what is extracurricular activities, what kind of there, and please pay attention to the dates. When you try to type dates, somewhere in the application, the system will not allow you to type it. So please choose the calendar box to avoid some kind of mistake. So assume that your extracurricular activity started from 1st September last year and ended from end of the September. Here we have house per week. Did you participate? Assume that it was 10 hours. And I'm choosing randomly all these questions because those are not that important for today's session. Okay, so I'm adding activity, and here I do have the activity. So let's say our financial aid starts from this question in stage 2. That's why I just try to demonstrate how to fill those things above, because the system will not allow us to submit if we are not filling all the boxes. So here we do have a question. Do you wish to apply for financial aid? We have only 2 answers for this question, yes and no. So please be very, very, very careful when you answer this question, because when you choose no, you will not be able to apply. We have already mentioned this thing, and you will be failed to apply for the financial aid for the upcoming year. And so in order to avoid these things, you have to answer yes if you want to apply for financial aid. Otherwise, if you feel that you are good with the prices, with the tuition fees, then please choose no. So in my case, I have to, suppose I'm applying and I need financial aid and I have to choose yes. Here I have to tick the I agree, and then I click submit. Hope I didn't miss anything. So see, here's a box. Are you sure to submit form? After submission, you will not be able to edit form. So before submitting, please be very careful. Read all the things that you entered already. In my case, I'm clicking OK, and it is now submitted. You will see here, this application is submitted. So please tick back, not in the browser back, but in but the backline in the application. And we are coming back to those 2 boxes that I demonstrated you. So now, when I click financial aid form application in order to start it, you can see that box disappeared and I'm there. So it means I'm now allowed to start my financial application, financial aid application form. Usually the first things, the first name and the last name and the date of birth are automatically entered. But please make sure you check them as well. So in my case, first name is John, last name is Testing, and probably I can enter also some middle name. Checking like my date of birth. And when you choose citizenship, This is also one more important thing. When you choose citizenship, if it is kind of UCA has three how to say it, host countries where we have campuses and where we are planning to have campuses. It is Kazakhstan, Republic of Kyrgyz Republic, and it's Tajikistan. So it depends on the citizenship and on the country that you're choosing. Depending on that, your application currency will be chosen as well. So we have four, let's say we have four currencies. Three are for these countries that I already named, and one is for international, which is in USD, US dollars. So in my case, suppose I'm an applicant and I'm applying from Tajikistan. City of birth, let's call it, was Dushanbe. I'm choosing Tajikistan, male. It is usually already there. Student's marital status is single. Parents' marital status, let's choose married. Then we go down. Student ID number. This is your passport details. So assume my passport detail is A9876521. Issued by, you have to write down issued by which organization was issuing you the ID. So let's assume in my case, it is Department of Ministry of Internal Affairs of Dushanbe, right? Dushanbe. And we have to write down the date of issue. Suppose it was issued on 1st of January last year. And the date of expiry can be January 2nd, 2032. So address and other details box. I assume you already know that, what kind of is that, but here you have to choose. We have two options there, apartment and house. So assume I'm having apartment, I'm choosing apartment. Legal status of the apartment is owned, rented, or provided by the employee. So I have an owned apartment and I'm choosing owned. Number of rooms, simple question. Like I do have 4 rooms at home. Total area. Usually this questions is related to the overall area of the, let's say, household. So assume we have 200 quadratic meters of total area, and the covered area is the apartment that might be kind of 100 meters. And here is the address, permanent address, which came automatically. So let's choose that I'm living in apartment 1, Ismail Somoni Street, Dushanbe. And I'm choosing major cities or other towns and rural valleys, high altitude rural areas. This is depend on your city and on the location of your city. So you will better know if that is related to high altitude. Suppose if my hometown is Horog, then I'm choosing high altitude rural areas. If it is Dushanbe, I'm choosing major cities. The same thing for assuming for this citizen of Kyrgyzstan. If it is Narin, then it might be high altitude rural areas. And if it is Bishkek, it is the major city. Okay, mailing address can be probably the same. So apartment 1, assume, and Ismail Somoni Street, Dushanbe. Email address. This is really, really important because you will be, in order to, let's say, submit your application, you need to be very, very sure that you have indicated your real and existing email address, which you're using daily. So in my case, probably I will be using my own, suppose. If I do have parent email address, surely I'm like writing down that one as well. Parent, suppose, just assuming that it's kind of parent@gmail.com. Home phone numbers, please type your something like that. The code number, country code starts with plus, and I'm just typing some numbers here. And if you see, when you fill all the details correctly, all the boxes are filled, you will have step 2 appearing just right after you enter after home phone number. So I'm clicking on step 2. Somehow, maybe due to the internet connection. Oh, you see, it's showing us that it's unresponsive, but after some kind of waiting, and yeah. So now we're going to step 2, household information. And by the way, just have a look at the step 2. When I choose, as I explained earlier, when I choose the country, depending on the country, the currency is appearing. So I chose Tajikistan, and in my case, TJS has appeared. It means like the whole application will be calculated in Tajik Samani, and I have to also be aware of that. So let's start the second step. The second step starts from household information, means total, let's say, total number of members in the household, including the applicant. Assume there are, let's say, 4 members in the household. How many earning members are there? These are the people who are earning, who are employed, who are having business or enterprise or whatever. Suppose it's like in my case, it's mother, father. So there are 2 of them, non-earning members. This is related to people who are not earning, but just pay attention to the below questions as well, because here we have retired members, we have members attending school, college, university, and with disability. So just be sure that you're not mixing up the non-earning members, because somehow you can also think that there are also non-earning members, but we have options here. So assume there is no one is kind of non-earning members there, and we have one retired who might be a grandfather, and it is me, surely, who is attending college or school. And then members with disability is 0. I'm leaving it like just a 0 and going down to add some information that I've just mentioned here. So as you can see, total number of household members is 4. Then I have to add 4 lines here, starting from my name. So my name was John, and here I have relationship, a list of relationship, which is kind of including mother, father, brother, sister, etc. So in my case, John is me. I'm choosing self. My age is, assume it's 18. Marital status single. Here we do have options as well. So maybe someone is married, you can also mention that. Economic status. I'm not earning, I'm not retired, I'm a student and I'm choosing student. I'm physically fit and I'm living with the household. If so, otherwise, please choose no if you're not living with the household. Second comes usually, it might be mother. It depends on your choose, but I would just recommend you to start choosing your mother, your parents, and then come down from with the other of your siblings or relatives who are living with your household. So in this case, I'm choosing mother here. Actually, it's like you have to write your mother's name. Let's call mother name is Helen, and she's 45 years age. She's married. She's earning, as I mentioned here, 2 members earning here. Then I have to indicate here that those are earning also. So she's physically fit. She's living with the household. And father, let's call him like Jack. All right, so relationship, I'm choosing father. He's 46 years old. He's also married. He's earning, as mentioned above, and he's physically fit. He's living with the household. All right, and now the grandfather, let's call it Bob. Bob is the grandfather. I'm choosing grandfather here. He's 75 years old and he's single. He's retired. I'm choosing he's retired. He's physically, hopefully he's fit. And yes, he's living with us. So it's done. Now we have to fill out the annexure. There are several annexures here in the application. So we're starting from the annexure A. For your convenience, we have just divided them separately. So let's start from annexure A. Annexure A means it is a work-related information for all earning and retired members. If you do remember above, we already mentioned who is retired and how many retired and how many earning members are there. In our case, it was like there were 3 members of a household, so I'm adding 2 more lines. Okay, so it's like it was the father. Who was the father there? Father Jack. Let's start from Jack. Or let's say Helen was first. Helen is the mother and she is employed. And we have to write down the name of the organization. Suppose it might be any, you just write down the name of the organization. Maybe it can be Central Asia, UCA, assume. And annual household income in Tajik Samani, don't forget, because I've chosen my citizenship as a Tajik Samani. For international student, it has to be USD, and all the application is going to be in USD, as I already mentioned. So annual income from salary and business. Assume I'm having 20,000 of annual income, and I don't have any other investments. I'm leaving it. No other income is there, so I'm going to next line, who is Jack. Jack was the father. He's also employed. He's working, suppose, in Google. He's earning maybe 35,000, or let's assume he's earning 40,000 annually. There is no other income. Or if he does have any income, he can indicate it here. And let's come to grandfather, Bob. He's not employed, but he's retired. So here we choose retired. If he's retired, usually it is NA because the name of the organization, or it can be simply the pension fund. It depends on you, it depends on individual case. So assuming that he's earning 10,000 some money annually, So here's a total. Please just, you can go down and this total will be calculating the whole amount automatically. Don't worry about that. Just pay attention to the next question. How many persons does your household employ in your business? Suppose you have some nurse at home who is taking care of your retired grandfather. If it is yes, then you have to write down one or maybe two members that are employed, your household's employees. Otherwise, in my case, it might be, let's say, 0, and I'm putting 0. So Annex B, coming to Annex B, it is regarding the educational expenses of the household. In my case, as I was the only one student, I'm writing down my name, John. Let's say I'm at 11th grade. Name of the academic institution and city of study. It can be, let's call it Turkish Lyceum in Dushanbe, or some other kind of lycée, wherever I've been studying. So annual cost for that might be, let's call 3,000. Financial aid, if any, if you receive, suppose annual cost is 3,000, and assume that I'm a good student and I'm receiving financial aid at that lycée, so 1,000 is kind of this source of financial aid. I'm choosing yes. Private, that is private, or maybe no, if that is kind of, it depends on the individual case. It's not abroad, it's here in Tajikistan, and it's self-education. I have to choose for first of all, if it is dependent to the applicant, you have to choose yes, self-education. Going down, Annex C, household expenditure excluding educational spending, means we will not enter the educational expenditure here, okay? So we are going down to Annex C, starting from the house rent if applicable. As I mentioned in my application, I'm not paying rent because my house was owned by me, so I'm just going down. Utilities, electricity, gas, and heating. For your information, I'll be in the end of the session, I'll be sharing with you the details, which documents we will need for you to submit along with your application. So utilities and electricity bills and gas or something like that. If you do have that, we will be needing that, and you have to upload it. So assume that I'm paying for the electricity somewhere around 2,500. Please bear in mind that this is annual. It is asking for the annual household expenditure, so that's why I'm writing down this amount. Let's assume that water and etc. I'm paying 500. Utilities, phones, mobile, something like that might be 250. Food and grocery, which is maybe more than anything else, can be like 12,000. Insurance, I'm not having insurance. Transportation, surely I think everyone has transportation expenses, so I'm putting something like let's call 4,000. I don't have vehicle. Medical expenses, sure, I think there might be like 1,000. Dental care can be 1,500. Clothing is 7,000. Or let's make it 5,000. Fitness, vacations, dining out. Let's say I'm not having this, but it depends on you. If you do have, please indicate all these types of expenses here. Loan repayment, I'm not having loan, but if you do have, you have to write down how much money you have paid annually for your, you had to repay for the loan. So salary paid to housekeeper, cleaner, cook. As I already mentioned above, that I'm not employing anyone else, so it's 0 for me. And I'm going down, like that's enough for me. And I think now we have to go to Annex D. Yes, exact. Oh, by the way, here is a question. How many persons does your household employ as housekeeper? Please just bear in mind, if you miss all these asterisks questions, which are mandatory, you will not be able to submit your application. So be very, very careful. And I've been asked again, how many persons does your household employ? I'm answering no. And Annex D, land. If you remember in my application, I've indicated that there is kind of 200 meter square of the household, and assume that I'm entering the 100 more meters. It's even if it is the land or yard in front of your house, we have to indicate it. So assume it was purchased like somewhere in 90s. I'm just choosing a date, any date here, just for demonstration, but you know that you have to submit some documents, and it is mentioned there. Size of plot, 100 meters. Location is like Dushanbe. Oh, sorry, it's the address. Ismail Sony or something like that. Have to write down Dushanbe, Tajikistan. You have to indicate all the items related to Annex D here, like any land. If you do have, suppose maybe you have some land in Pakistan, which is really, really big, and you have to indicate it. We have an option here. Is it a residential a land, or is it commercial, or is it agricultural? I don't have anything else. It's just a residential original purchase price. Suppose it was, I don't know, like 500 that time, and now it costs around 5,000. I'm indicating that current market value, you can just define with your parents what will be the current market value for the land. And now I'm coming to Annex E. It's the property. I'm adding one line because I have a property, which is my house. And as I mentioned, it was purchased in 90s, somewhere in maybe February 2nd. And here I'm just writing down covered area, square meters. I'm indicating 100 here. 100 already was indicated there. So overall, as you remember, it was 200. Location might be the same. Ismail Samoni Street, city town, Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Residential, surely it might kind of, yeah, it's residential. And what is the original price for the house itself? So it might be kind of, I don't know, maybe it was purchased for 5,000 that time, and now it costs like 150,000 or something like this, like that. And we have to indicate if we are resident of that house, we have to indicate yes. You may have more than one property. You need to indicate all of the properties that you are having, and on one of them you need to choose resident because you're living in one house. Maybe if you live in two houses, then you have to choose two houses as well, being resident of the second as well. So coming to Annex F, motor vehicles owned by, as I mentioned, I don't have any motor vehicles. Otherwise, I have to indicate something here. Need to click here to add line and to show. So coming to Annex G, which is livestock owned by any members. It's like indicated here, showing that maybe you own some horses, sheep, goats, cattle, if it is usually used in rural areas. So in my case, I'm an urban applicant and I don't have anything here to fill. You can write down if you do have cattle or sheep or chickens, you need to specify here. So coming down to Annex H, it asked me about the bank balances and deposits. This is one of the documents that you have to, it's mandatory document, and you have to submit them with the application, upload them. I'm adding, assume, 1 thing, 2, 3, yeah, 3. I'm adding 3 bank accounts. So one is for Helen, like the name of account holder. Helen was the mother. She's having kind of bank account in FMFB. And it's a current. There are 3 types of accounts. Suppose it's current. It's like her salary account or something like that. I need to indicate as well. I have to choose the currency. There are some options. And as she's receiving her salary in Tajik Somoni, I'm choosing TGS and assume on that time there is kind of 15,000 in her account, 15,000 TGS. Now, Jack was the father. His bank name is Amonat Bank, and account type is also kind of current. It's might be in TGS, and he has some 8,000 in his account. One more account here is for the grandfather because he's receiving pension in his card, and if we have card, then it means we have bank account as well. So Bob was the grandfather. Okay, so let's call it current. It's in TGS, and he has something like 500. And maybe, let's say, my parents prepared some kind of current or saving account for me as well in my name in the bank. So I'm adding mine as well. And that is kind of, the bank name is FMFB, I'm writing down. It is the saving account. It is in USD maybe, and maybe I do have some around $1,000 there. And also here, please pay attention, Annex H. This is kind of, there are some options for the cash that you may have at home. Suppose we are having somewhere around TGS, like 2,000 TGS, and maybe 300 USD. So now I have to shift to step 3. Once everything is done, and if it is correct, I'll have the step 3 box, and I'm now there. So the household income and expenditure, you can just see whatever I've mentioned in the Annex A, Annex B, Annex C. It is already calculated here. You can also take a look at your details, and you can also have a look. I mean, just get the calculator and start calculating if it is good with you. So C, net disposal income is 41,250. Next, we have the question here. Is the annual household expenditure greater than the annual household income? In my case, it is not, because my income salary from business is more than all the other expenditures. Like it is 70,000, 71,000 was my income, and 26,000 something was my expenditures. So the answer is no. If yes, in your case, it might be yes, you have to provide details. How do you manage these to meet the shortfall? Like, what is the difference? So you can answer if there is kind of a difference, like you get some help from some local peoples or some relatives are helping you or something like that. You please mention it here. And the next question is project change in your household income next year. Suppose you're saying if something is going to happen next year, maybe your father will get a better job, start some business, you need to choose increase. If suppose your mother is going to be retired, and if that reflects your household income, you have to choose decrease or no change. It depends on you again. And please explain and provide reason. As I said here, you choose here increase or decrease. If no change, no explanation is needed. Otherwise, you have to explain what is the change there. So let's go to step 4. Step 4 is the income and expenditure. It's like the it is starting from the Annex D, E, F, G, H. Like if you do remember, there were land, property, etc. So it's all calculating it. And now it is showing that we have some total of 1,505 TJS. If you do have loans at home by any member of the household, you have to click here and you have to fill who is the loan, name of the lender, like say who's from your household is taking the loan, what is the purpose, and etc. Here's the currency, the principal amount, annual repayment. You have to write down how much you paid. But as I indicated above, it is I don't have any loan, so I'm just missing this. I'm not adding it, adding this line here. Just remember that the outstanding balance should be as of 31st of December of previous year. In our case, it will be 31st December 2022. What was the balance as of that? So please just pay attention to these details to each and every questions. I'm just deleting that box because I don't need that. I'm not having any loan. So I'm going to step 5. This is kind of additional information. Have you or members of your household been overseas within the last 3 years? You have to answer accurately. If yes, then you have to choose yes. If no, you need to choose no. So in my case, assume that yes. If yes, I have to add line again, and I have to write down, maybe it was like Helen, mother, visited, suppose, New York. Purpose of visit might be business. Dates can be like, let's say, April 2000, as it says that within the last 3 years. So it might be, it maybe was in April 2021 to May 2021. And here we have to write the amount, how much, like what was the currency and how much was spent. Assume like 2000 was spent, dollars was spent to visit New York. It was personal or it was sponsor. You need to just here. In my case, maybe it was sponsor. Maybe mother went to New York using sponsor's money. So details of other organization, institution, individuals approach for financial assistance. This means for financial assistance to study here at UCA. Suppose you needed some help, and you cannot afford yourself to study due to your financial circumstances, and you have applied for any organization, for any sponsorship or seeking for donor. If yes, so you have to again click here add the name of the organization, name of funding, program applied for. Suppose that might be, I don't know, maybe let's call it Elon Musk program or something like that. And write down the currency that you have applied for and if it is approved. Suppose maybe you have applied for $5,000 for help and you have got only received only $1,000, then you have to write down here. In my case, I didn't apply to any organization and I'm just deleting it. I'm missing this. Oh, by the way, see here again, how many times did you go on family vacation during the last 3 years? I'm writing down it is this question is related personally to me, so I'm writing down 0. And see, step 6 is appearing. Otherwise, there was no step 6. So please pay attention to all the questions. Now coming back to the last question. Enter here any additional explanation or information about special circumstances. This might be your personal thing as well as your, I don't know, household member situation. It can be kind of, you can see that relevant to this application, maybe not covered in the section above. Suppose there are some other special circumstances that you have to share with us that, and you may find it that it will surely affect your application, but there were no options above. So you can indicate all of them in text, and then you can submit step 6. So click on step 6, and it is taking us to the contribution of educational expenses. Let's say for Tajik citizens, the total cost to study at UCA is 85,000 TJS, from which the annual tuition is 53,000 and residence and other fees is 32,000. So suppose your parents or your guardians are ready to pay 30,000, and maybe some of from your household or some uncle or your aunt are also ready to share some money with you, assuming that 10,000 Samanis they are ready to pay. So you see the system automatically calculates and indicates that the financial aid requested from UCA is 45,000 annually. Like means 40,000 you are ready to pay. This is available source at your household, and 45,000 is the source that you're seeking for to study here. So the next step is to fill the box with the details of guardians who will provide the guarantee to the student loan. There will be a loan, by the way, and all these details will be shared with the applicants who passed all the stage, and the amount of the loan will be also announced that time individually to each and every student. In advance, we are requesting you to write down 2 names. First guarantor should be a parent, surely. So in my case, it is like Jack, the father. Second guarantor might be maybe aunt or someone else, but I'm just writing down that it is a mother also. So I'm filling all the details, very, very simple and fast, like what is the relationship. Home address was Ismail Samani Street, Dushanbe, etc. Passport number, assume it was A I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one was A98, something like this. Mobile contact numbers. I have to write down mobile contacts, suppose. And again, as you know, I'm just writing down the numbers randomly because you will choose your own. This is just for demonstration. So email, here's the email address I'm using. Assume that I'm writing down my father's email, then I'm writing down my mother's email, Helen at the gmail.com. Occupation of father, he's an engineer. Mother is, let's say she's translator. And her office address might be something you will add here, the office address 1, office address 2. I'm just writing down office address 1 and 2 in order not to take too much time of you to go to the last stage of the application. So here's a question. Have you provided guarantee to other UCA student? Means if this person or the second guarantor you have indicated here, maybe they have already provided to UCA student. If yes, they have to indicate yes, and then they have to write the name of the person to whom they are becoming as a guarantee. In my case, assume I'm not, my parents are not guaranteed to anyone else except me, so I'm just leaving it as it is. No here, 0, 0, 0, and I'm coming to the attachments. Attachments might be the documents that we are requesting. I'm coming to them on next step, but here let's assume that I'm attaching a document, and please attach them in PDF format. So I combined all my documents in one, or they might be some of documents, and I'm attaching them. So I've uploaded a file, and then I'm going to step 7. You have to very carefully read the step 7. It tells us about that we understand that we submit a financial aid application, that UCA is using permission to verify that information, that we certify that all the information and documents provided as part of financial aid application are true, correct, and all these things. So you're like reading it, and when you click agree, it means you have read all these 6 points, you agree with them, and then you're saving it. See, there's a kind of box is appearing, a confirmation box. Do you want to submit your request? I'm clicking yes, because I'm sure that I've entered all the details correctly, and I'm just clicking yes. It might take some time, maybe because of the size. You see some kind of page is unresponsive. And I'm saying wait. It may depend on the internet speed and bandwidth as well. So please just be patient. Okay, thank you for applying to UCA. Now you see, I clicked yes, and that means I've already applied to the financial aid. And I would like to share one more thing with you. Maybe if you suppose you're thinking that you have already submitted your application, but something that was checked by our colleagues, by the finance team, we find that you did not submit the full application, or maybe you have made some kind of mistakes, and you did not, suppose, upload your salary certificate or whatever, then you will receive an email like this, a notification. Please just check your inboxes as well. Let me share my screen, this notification. So, colleagues, can you please confirm that this notification is visible? Okay, thank you. So see, this is kind of a sample of notification that you may receive in your inbox. Like, dear applicant, thank you for your submission. This is a notification that your submission is being reviewed and the status is still incomplete. To complete your application, please kindly provide details of, and here in black, you will see the details, which is indicating like, please submit salary certificate. So in this case, you need to check and have a look what kind of salary certificate is needed. Maybe you didn't upload it, maybe you have it, but you forgot to upload it, and so on and so forth. So coming back to, coming back to the application. And first of all, let's see. If you visit our web page, you do remember there was a link in the email that we shared with you, sending you the emails. We have shared with you a link. This link is related to the fees and financial assistance. Sorry. Okay. This link is related to financial assistance and fees. So you see, here we do have overall information regarding the fees, and you can read it very carefully. It may be very, very helpful for you. Now, if you go down, you can see that there are 4 boxes. These are not only pictures, but you can pick each of them. And it is we have indicated there that it's suppose it's financial aid for Kyrgyzstan, for Tajikistan, for Kazakhstan, and for international students. Suppose you're an international student, you need to click here. When you click, you will have the PDF format, which we are offering you as a guidance to fill in the application. So mostly you will need these details as indicated here. First of all, it comes like we're sharing the email address, which you can use, and you can address to your questions to this email. It's sfa@ucentralasia.org. I think all of you already know we have sent those emails from this account, from this email address, sorry. And we have shared with you our colleagues, as I already mentioned, our colleagues' contact details, phone numbers. It doesn't matter that they are staying in Dushanbe, Narino, Tekeli. If you're from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Georgia, United States, you can contact them. Just pick one number and start reaching them. You can also contact them via WhatsApp, as I already said. Now, coming down, here's the guidelines, and like the guidelines and the instructions are starting. You can also Please pay attention to these. Where the financial aid application starts here. It is called the checklist. So just pay attention to the checklist. So we have mandatory documents that you need to upload along with your application, online application form, which is house register. And you may have to upload two kind of house registers. In case if you're not living with your household, yes, it is. There's a note here for students registered and living separately from their parents or guardians. If you're living along with your household, then you have to submit only one house register where it is indicated that yes, there are 4 or 5 members in this household living all together. So next is coming passport ID. Simply, it's your passport. You have to upload the photocopy of yourself first of all, of your parent or guardians, and other employed members in the household. That would be also good. And next document which is mandatory, is salary certificate. So if you do remember, in my case, there were 2 earning members, means I have to submit 2 salary certificates. One is for my father and another is for my mother. And the salary history in that certificate has to be for the period from January 22 to December 2022, means for the last year, for all employed members in the household. Employment book. This is the book that if many of you young applicants, let's call, if you don't know, you can ask your father or your mother what is the employment book. They can share the copy of that. Usually in Tajikistan, this is kept in the HR department of the organization where you're employed. So the sixth document, which is mandatory to upload to be provided, is the retirement certificate. It's kind of a certificate for proving that that proves that the person is receiving some maybe pensions, or he's retired due to some disability. And the 7th document is latest income tax declaration return. Usually here in Tajikistan, when providing that salary certificate in point 4, that certificate is indicating the taxes that were withheld from the employee. So in that case, that will be also enough. Otherwise, you have to provide the income tax. And by the way, it is not only related to salaries, it is related to the business that you owe. You can get the tax declaration from the local tax office. And yes, it is mentioned here, business enterprise owned by any member in the household. 8th document is bank statement for all bank accounts. As I mentioned, if you do remember, Annex H, I have indicated that there are 4 bank accounts I have, and it means I have to provide 4 bank statements separately, and they should be for the period from April 2022, 31st of March 23. It is also a yearly period, but it's the period is different. So please pay attention to these things. It differentiates from the salary certificate, which is from salary January 22, December 22. And here are 5 more documents that you say preserves the rights of the rights to request those documents. Depends on the case and the circumstances. These are not mandatory again, but however, it is mentioned that during the process, financial aid processing, we reserve the right to request these documents, which is disability certificate. If there is a member of household is disabled, the second document is kind of adoption certificate or certificate of divorce for the family which are whose parents are divorced, or death certificate needs to be provided as well. The copy, I mean, registration certificate and tax registration number. This is for all business enterprises owned by any member in the household. It's just like the in our case in Tajikistan, it's called the let's say patent. And yeah, so fourth document is loan inquiry. If you do remember, there was a box where we could have indicated if we do have a loan. If you indicate their loan that you are paying loan and any of your household members are having loan, then you have to indicate it in that application, online application. And in case, we may require that. So the fifth is utility bills. You see, this is, if you do remember, there were expenses like gas and electricity, heating, and etc. So this is not mandatory, but we may ask you to provide these kind of bills. So these are the checklist for mandatory and for those documents that may be required after you will be asked to provide them. So far, I think we are done with the applications, and maybe most of you already seen these two boxes, and you can just ask your questions if you do have any. Okay, I can see there are. All right. Okay, I can see by mistake I choose single in parent status. Okay, can you please just address that question to the email address that I've already indicated, and let me please share with you. Oh yeah, thank you. My colleague already shared these email addresses, so please just have a look. She has mentioned that admissions@ucentralasia.org is for questions regarding admission, and sfaucentralasia.org is for questions regarding financial aid only. So in this case, I can see Nilofar Jahed. By mistake, I chose single in parent status. Nilofar, you can just address this to sfa@ucentralasia.org, and we can have a look at that individually. Thank you very much. And also Nilofar is. Yes, please. And also Nilofar, I forgot to write mailing address. Nilofar, you're forgetting too many things. Again, please indicate all of these things. My mother is housewife and my father due to there was some rule he cannot have any job now. Okay, you I just didn't get your question, your third question. Nilofar, please indicate if you do mean that she's a housewife, it means that you have to indicate her as an unemployed, right? And if your father is due to some special circumstances that you mentioned there, cannot have any job now, if he's unemployed, you can just mention him as an unemployed. Hope I answered your question. Thank you. Nilufar. Okay, Galim Amanjanov. No, it's not only the financial aid, it's not loan only. And there are just kind of very, very small percents to the loan, which are kind of administrative charge, and they are not that big. So UCA financial aid is like there are two types of financial aid that we are providing. One is the loan, another is like the sponsorship, let's call it like that. Do we need to? Yes, sorry, Galim. And it's a studentship, scholarship. Yeah, scholarship. I just forgot the word. So another is the scholarship, and it's not only financial. Sorry, it's not only loan. It depends individually on each and every student's case. So once you suppose the applicant is chosen and he passes all the stages, we will share more details how the loan and how the scholarship, how much amount he receive as loan and how much amount he's receiving as a scholarship. Okay, I will begin. Do you need to provide our parents' salary with the taxes or without them? I think I've already answered that. Yes, if, as I said, if you're from Tajikistan, seemingly, so you have to provide a certificate from the organization where your parents are employed, and usually they are indicating like the accountant is indicating the amount, the gross amount of the salary. Then he's indicating the taxes, like in our case in Tajikistan, it is 2% of pension fund, and maybe 12 or maybe 15% of income tax. It depends on the employment of your parents. So you have to provide with the taxes. If that salary certificate is without indicating only the gross amount, then please provide the tax proof as well. Okay, Wasil Jalali. Wasil, you're asking in attachment section, just we submit those documents which we remarked in the PDF form. What does that mean? Which documents you remarked, and what is your question actually? Can you please just explain what kind of problem do you face? Okay, Jigit Bekov. My parents run a business. They are self-employed. Do I have to submit a salary certificate? No. If there is no salary certificate, then no. But in your case, you have to submit your parents' income. As I mentioned, it might be income declaration from tax, which is kind of a proof that indicates the annual income of the household. Hope I answered your question. Ilyas, in Annex B, it is asking about students' expenditures. Yes, I'm in a gap year and currently not enrolled with any institutions. How should I add my expenses details? If you do not have your expenses details, then you no need to no need to. There is nothing to indicate, right? If I got you right. So if you're not student, if you're not studying anyway, if you're not doing any other courses, or something like that, then you shouldn't indicate your expenses. But please just bear in mind that the expenditures doesn't only mean that you're enrolled in university or kind of college. This may be related to let's say any other maybe individual courses that you're taking, and that may reflect your household income. Okay, Nilufar, you lost connection. Can you please, Nilufar, uh, indicate which which question do you mean? Nilufar, please rewrite your question, because you have indicated 3 questions. Wasil, the last part which you give detail about documents, I mean that we have to attach those documents in the attachment in step 6, I think. No, there is only one step. There is only one step, and let me just have a look again if it allows. Unfortunately, I need to go through whole the process again because this is how the system works. So it's just indicating right now that I've okay. Sorry, Wasil. So you will upload your documents only where it is mentioned, like you have to attach the documents after you submit, after you fill all the application. Havo Begim, I already mentioned that there are phone numbers of our colleagues. You can directly contact them, and it is you have the link as I indicated. You can go through the link. You can see the PDF version of as a guideline, and you can find out the our colleagues' numbers and contact details. Also, you can see in your email the same table with the contact details of colleagues is shared with you in the email. Nilufar, my family member, 4 persons include me and nobody of as earning because of brother student. So see, Nilufar, in your case again, I'm saying that if suppose your mother is not working, you're saying she's a housewife, which means she's unemployed. As I indicated in the application, you have to indicate her as an unemployed. And your father as well, if he has no job right now, you can you have to indicate him as well unemployed. Okay. And your brother is a student. Yeah, sure, you can simply choose your brother as a student. There are options I already showed you. Hope I answered your question. Ilyasuddin, will it be enough to prove that the person is retired if we send the pay slip? What kind of pay slip is that? It depends, Ilyas, because I may not be able to answer directly. In this case, we have to have a look at the document, and you know, how does it look like a proof? You're welcome. You're welcome, Nilufar. So, dear applicants, participants, if you do have any other questions, I'm ready to answer. Yes, and Wasil, you can see my colleague has already sent you in the chat box the link, and hope this is also will be helpful as an answer. So if, okay. Ilyas, what was your question again? Yeah, sure. Do you mean right now? If you mean you're sending audio link right now, yes, please go ahead. If I don't know if there is an option, and if we apply, I mean, allowed to send these kind of answers. Yes, please. I can see a confirmation from my colleague.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah. You're audible. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my question was, the first question which I asked was like, can I like can I I'm in a gap year. I'm in a gap year. I'm not currently enrolled in any institution right now. Although I'm a
Okay.
student and I'm the applicant of UCA. There's asking like you have to mention your own student expenditures also.
Yeah.
So how should I enter those like details if I'm not enrolled in any institution? That was the first question. And the second question is like, my father is a retired soldier. So you are asking the salary certificate or the certificate which can prove that the person is retired actually. So can I send the pension slip where it's mentioned that the person is retired? Will it be enough as a certificate or not? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for your question, Ilyas. My answer to your first question was like you, as you said, you're a student. You're not a student, and you're not enrolled in any institution. And I'm answering again. There is no need for you to write down the student expenditure because you have no expenditure, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so but just please be sure that you have read the instructions very carefully, because in some cases it is asking for the annual household. In this case, it means for previous year. Okay, so
Yes.
maybe in previous year you have had some expenses, right? Because as you saw, we are asking for salary certificates and etc. income for the previous year, not this year. All right. So maybe if you had some expenses last year, then you have to indicate them. Otherwise, please make sure that if it is like you're not enrolled, like maybe for the last 2 years or something like that, then there are no any kind of educational expenditures, and you just need to leave it. No need to indicate it.
So I got it.
Right.
I got it.
Yes. And the second question regarding your father is a retired person, right?
Yes, sir.
And you want to just submit only slips, as you said.
Yes, sir.
And
I'm
these
just saying that.
slips are kind of
It's mentioning like he's retired. It's clearly mentioned in the payslip.
okay. At least if it is indicated there that he's this is kind of, because I don't know what type of slips are those, right? You may be applying from Pakistan or from India, from wherever, because each and every countries are having different slips, and we have to have a look at it. But then again, I think if your father is retired, there should be some kind of document indicating that he is retired, right?
Yes, sir. There will be.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So you can just submit that kind of as a retirement document, and you can simply indicate his income. I think the retired person also has income, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So you need to indicate that amount in Annex A.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir. I got it, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. I can see that there is. Okay, Wasil. Thank you. I get my answer. You're welcome. You're welcome, Wasil. So so far we had just a few questions, right? I think we're done.